friends. Today I'm going to show you what we're going to do for reading today, and I'm going to do a sample one to show you or to give you the directions of how you're going to complete your comprehension check. So this page that I have right here is a sample, and then you're going to complete this page, which looks very similar but is a different story. So mine is just going to be an example. So friends, you might remember that when we're in the class together, sometimes we do these comprehension sheets. And when we read these stories, sometimes we have smiley faces. This has 3 stars. So I want you to read the story 3 times. After reading the story each time, you're going to color in one of these stars. Now remember, rereading a story multiple times helps us to remember the details of the story. So that's why we read it several times before we go and answer the questions. So for time's sake, I'm just going to read you this story 1 time, but when you go and read this story, I want you to read 3 times and color in a star each time you read. Okay, so first I'm going to read the story to you so you can just follow along with me. Penny and Ryan love watching birds. They want to attract more birds to their backyard. The first thing they do is add several bird feeders. They hang many bird feeders around their yard so the birds will have enough food to eat. Next, Penny and Ryan hang birdhouses around their yard so that the birds will have shelter and places to raise their young. Lastly, Ryan and Penny know that the birds need water to drink and bathe in, I think that's supposed to say bathe in, so they add a bird bath. Over the next few weeks, many new birds made their home in their yard. Okay, so I've read my story, and again, you are going to read your story 3 times. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to then answer these questions about the story. Now you see next to each one of these questions that it tells you the color crayon that you are going to use. And the reason it does that is that you are going to take that color crayon and you're going to find the answer or find the evidence in the story to answer that question. So I have my crayons here ready to help me to find the answers. So let's see if we can find those together. Okay, so our first question says, what do Penny and Ryan want to do? Do you see the answer to that question in our story? You probably already see this, and I'm going to take my red crayon. I'm going to show you how we're going to use the red crayon to highlight the evidence. Or actually, I'm going to underline. They want to attract more birds to their backyard. That is what Penny and Ryan want to do. Now remember, when we answer our question, we are going to answer in a complete sentence. So friends, after I find the evidence in the story and I've highlighted it or underlined it with my red crayon, I can use those same words to write the answer to my question. This sentence is already a complete sentence, so I can use that same sentence and just copy it down right here for my answer. Now, since I'm copying these same words, I should spell all of those words correctly because those words are written right there in the story. So I can just look up there and copy those words. They want to attract, and attract just means to, they're trying to get the birds to their backyard. Attract more birds. Oh, look, I ran out of space. If I run out of space, friends, you can always, sometimes I tell the friends in my class, you can always try to fit it in small right below that handwriting line, or if you want to write bigger, you can just flip to the back. I think I'm just going to write right below this line really small. They want to attract more birds to their backyard. Okay, and remember we need that period on the end of our sentence. Very good. Okay, let's go to our second question. What is the first thing they do to attract birds? Okay, you see that in our story? The answer to that question is right here. So we're going to take our orange crayon and underline that answer. The first thing that they do is add several bird feeders. Now, friends, that sentence right there is already a complete sentence. So I can still use those same words to answer my question. Or I can also see, I saw with my first question or the first answer, that it's going to have a lot of words to fit on that line. I think I'm going to make this sentence a little smaller so I don't have as many words and so I can fit it on my handwriting line. So, what is the first thing they do to attract birds? They add, what did they add? That's right, several, oh, I'm writing on a bumpy table, so my pencil's going through my paper. They add several bird feeders. Now again, friends, all of those words in my answer, I can look up and find the correct spelling in my story. So far I haven't had to sound out any words on my own. I can just find them right there in the story. Okay, let's go to our next question. I see I'm going to need a yellow crayon to find the answer to this one. Why do Ryan and Penny hang birdhouses? It says right here they hang many bird feeders around their yards so the birds will have enough food to eat. That is a long sentence. It is a complete sentence, but again, I'm going to take just a part of this sentence to answer my question. So why do Ryan and Penny hang birdhouses? They hang bird houses so the birds, I'm gonna run out of room, my handwriting's big, will have enough to eat. Okay, and there's my period. Okay, we've got two more questions. My next one needs a green crayon. What is the last thing they add to their backyard? It says down here, lastly, Ryan and Penny know that the birds need water to drink and bathe in, so they add a bird bath. And I just found that evidence right here, that last part of that longer sentence. So I'm just going to put just those 5 words to make my sentence. They add a bird bath is a complete sentence. They add a bird bath. Okay, and now we're ready for our very last question. Were Penny and Ryan successful in attracting birds? Now, this is where you're going to have to use your inferencing skills because it doesn't tell you the exact words. They were successful. So can you find evidence in this story that leads you to think that they are successful in attracting birds? I'll give you a hint. It's near the end of our story. Okay, so right here, over the next few weeks, many new birds made their home in their yard. If many birds are making a home in their yard, that leads you to think and to infer that yes, Penny and Ryan were successful in attracting birds. So that is how I'm going to answer my sentence. And this is where I'm not taking these exact words from the story, but I'm going to have to come up with my own sentence, and I might have to sound out some words in this sentence. So were Penny and Ryan successful in attracting birds? I'm going to say yes, Penny and Ryan were, and just make it a shorter sentence, but still a complete sentence, I'm just going to write successful and period, and ended there. Yes, Penny and Ryan were successful. Okay, so friends, that completes my sample story. So again, you are going to take this story and do the same thing that I just did, but with a different story. So again, read the story 3 times, color in a star for each time that you've read it, and then you're going to answer the questions and use your different colored crayons to find the evidence to answer each question. Now, one thing I would like to point out, the last question in your story just asks your opinion of something. It says, what do you like to do when it rains? Well, you're not going to find the answer of what you like to do when it rains in this story. This is just asking you to write about a time or write something that you like to do in the rain. So that's going to be just your own answer, and you don't have to use a crayon. So really you will need your red, orange, yellow, and green crayon. No blue crayon for this story that you're going to complete. Thanks, friends, and have a great day.